Happy New Year, everybody. I just woke up and I thought I have to quickly send a message to everybody who's following the channel, guys. So, as you know, we had a crazy year and it felt like a fever dream almost. But we all survived, we all here, and the new year is finally here. And as you know, I founded this channel because I had a feeling that I needed to take more risk in my life, right? And I picked a random country and I moved to Colombia to start a new life. And here I am. I'm still here. I'm having, the time of my life, I would say. And not a single second I did ever regret making that decision. Not a single second. And surely a lot of things could have gone wrong or, in a less fortunate way. But we have nothing to lose, guys. And you need to realize that, and you really need to take that in. And we say that all the time, I have nothing to lose, and you only live once. Those are phrases that everybody knows. But most of us don't really take that in and don't live by that. We don't. Most of us don't. And it's that one thing that most people don't get, that we don't have nothing to lose. The only two things that we really ever put at risk when making big decisions, such as going to a new country, trying things that we never tried before. Only two things: money and our lives, health, right? And in terms of money, money can be re-earned, right? If you're not a complete fool, and I believe most of you are not. Money can be re-earned, so it's not really a big risk. And if you look at your money, if you look at your bank account, and you don't see that money, that number, as an asset to increase the joy in your life, but instead, if you see that money as an asset that you just keep accumulating more and more in order to increase security, right? In case something happens. That is, to me, the real risk, right? If you see money as a security instead of something that you can use to enable a better life, that is the real risk, the risk of missing out. Because most people who live that lifestyle, who accumulate money to increase security, 99% of those people, they die with $500,000 in their bank account. Never left their town, never emerged in a different culture, never learned a new language. Just sad. Because they sat on that money, scared to lose it all, while they missed the only chance they ever had in this universe to live a fruitful life. And I know this feeling about, being scared to lose money. I know this feeling. And it's hard work to overcome that. And this feeling actually gets stronger and stronger the more money you have, right? If you only have $100 in your bank account, you don't feel bad spending half your whole net worth on a new computer game, right? When you're 18 or 20 years old. But when you have $50K in your bank account, spending half that money is a completely different game, and I get that. So the more money you have, the harder it is to overcome that fear. But it's worth it. Because money is not an asset to increase security. It's not. You need to get rid of that thinking, guys. So I just wanted to say there's really no good excuse for you, if you are living that lifestyle, to continue that this year. And I hope that this pandemic really has woken up a lot of people. Because suddenly we understand that we are in a very fragile system. Everything could end any second, right? What if the next virus has not a 0.1% death rate, but a 10% death rate, right? So stop seeing the money as an asset of security and put it at risk. And I'm not saying, go to a casino and put all your assets on red. Don't do that. Take smart risks, right? Smart risk. And I'm planning a video about that whole topic of making money while, traveling and all that. There's a video coming out on that. But what I'm trying to say is, start today. I want you to pick one thing that you didn't dare to do yet. And everybody has something like that on their mind. So take that, and first of all, I want you to post that in the comments or the live chat right now. And second, make a plan how to achieve it, right? And don't pick something that is incredibly hard to achieve, but have smaller goals, right? You could have a big overall goal that you're working towards in, let's say, 10 or 20 years, but that's not very motivating, right? On a daily basis. If you wake up and the goal is still, millions of miles away, that's not going to motivate you to stick with it. But break that down into smaller goals and into smaller time frames, so that every day you wake up and you know exactly what to do in order to achieve the next step and get to the next level. This is how I do it. This is the whole purpose why I started this channel. I felt that I wasn't struggling with money. I wasn't bored in Germany. I just felt that there are people out there that are living a life that is just next level. So I looked at those people and I thought, what do these people have in common? What did those people do to achieve what they achieved? And it was always just one thing. They took more risks than everybody else. It's only when you take risks that you have the possibility to live an above average life. And I'm not just talking about money, about joy and experiences in general, right? So guys, let me know in the chat, what is it that you are trying to achieve this year? Let me know right now. I'm very curious. So Kevin says, you inspired me to move to Colombia to make a life out there. Is that true? If that is true, then I feel flattered almost. That's incredible. So tell me exactly, when are you moving and what is your plan in detail? Are you planning on returning to Germany, or what future plans do you have? So this year, guys, I wanna see more stuff. I wanna see more places, and not just in Colombia. I think this whole continent, South America, has so much to offer. Brazil, just to name one country, would be a goal of mine. I'm certainly not gonna go back to Germany anytime soon, just because why would I? Why would I go back to Germany if there's still so much things that I haven't seen yet, right? Oh, Chippy Chappy. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty close to where I live here. That's amazing, bro. And yeah, I mean, I thought about doing what I did with the random generator, to do that again, to get to a new country. And I might do that. I might do that again, but this time I think I'm not gonna move there immediately, right? I might use the random generator again to pick countries that I'm gonna visit for a week or two, to emerge in the local culture. Of course, create videos for this content. That would be amazing. So far, I gotta say that financially, this channel hasn't really paid off, right? I was like losing money with this channel because, I did road trips, I paid for hotels, etc. to make videos, and the ad revenue is just bull crap when you're doing travel videos, right? I get like $4 for 1,000 views. But I gotta say that my video about $10 in Colombia, that is blowing up right now. It's getting like, let me pull up the exact figure here for you guys. The $10 in Colombia video is currently blowing up, and it's getting like 10K views every 48 hours, right? So 5K per day, which is insane. And it's making me like $20 per day, the video now. So if I was able to replicate that, that would actually put me in a position where I could say, all right, this channel is making me money, so let's invest more. But we'll see how that develops in the coming weeks. I mean, here in Colombia, there's also much more stuff that I could film. Just always the problem with security, right? So I'm planning 2 videos at the moment, guys. One video, as just mentioned, is about money. So I'm gonna break down how much money I made in December 2020. And the second video is a more complex video, where I need security guards, I need somebody who knows how to operate a camera. And I'm currently getting all these things together, so it's gonna be exciting, I think. Kevin says, I come from Colombian parents, but I was born in the States. I speak both Spanish and English, and I was only planning on staying here for a couple months, but then the pandemic hit. So I had to stay here in Palmira, and then once they open up the airports, again, I decided not to leave. I'm currently looking for an apartment here because I'm staying at Airbnbs now. But this year Your dog is going to get shocked? Magnus! Hey! Very good. Thank you very much for that. Hey, come here. Stop. Magnus. That's fucking dangerous. Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bad boy. Bad boy. Oh, he's such a good dog. Honestly, guys, the dog was such a great help in this lockdown because, I had a purpose. I had somebody to take care of. He's been such a good boy. Yeah, guys. So that's all really. That's all I wanted to say. Please write down in the comments one thing that you're going to do in terms of taking a risk this year. I'm very curious to see all of your comments. And Happy New Year. I hope that this year will be a bit more fruitful than the previous one, in terms of personal experiences and also in terms of content on this channel. I just couldn't travel, right? Yeah, he's not that small though. Look at them. He's pretty big. So Kevin says, I would love to meet up and chat one day. Your channel is the main reason I decided to take the risk in my life. My family thinks I'm crazy, but I said, fuck it. I drink fresh, squeezed juices every day. That's the spirit, my boy. If you live nearby, just hit me up on Instagram at Maximilian Dares, and then we can have a beer or something, you know? That's incredible. Yeah, I have new videos ideas, don't worry. I quickly can recap on those. I already talked about that here in the stream, but 2 videos, guys. I want to talk about money, how to make money without having a typical day job while traveling, while experiencing new stuff. There's tons of videos about that topic on YouTube, but I figured that, I want to do it as well to tell people how I do it. I've been doing it for years, basically, right? I had a few jobs, like typical office jobs, 9 to 5, but most of the time I worked independently because it's just the mode that I prefer. I don't like to report to other people. I don't like to have a fixed schedule, I don't like to wake up with an alarm clock in the morning. That's like the ultimate luxury to me is waking up without an alarm clock, to wake up whenever you feel it's the right time to wake up. Of course, sometimes I have meetings or appointments and stuff, but 9 out of 10 days, I wake up whenever I feel that I want to wake up. And this is, to me, the ultimate luxury, really. Yeah, stock market is certainly a major role in my financial life. However, the stock market is really pretty much unpredictable, right? So sometimes you make good income, and sometimes you see a lot of opportunity for trades, and then sometimes it's weeks or months where you don't see a single opportunity. So it's not really a good idea unless you have a substantial amount of money that you can rely on. I think if you're just getting started and you're basically broke, I don't think that stock market is necessarily a good idea to rely on. But it certainly plays a big role for me. We are coming to Colombia to retire. Hey, he's doing it again. Magnus. All right, I just had to pull out the cable. This dog is on... I gotta put this dog on suicide watch. Jesus. That was a $100 lamp, by the way, that he just destroyed. Well, never mind. I can afford to retire early down there instead of working my life away. Yeah, life is also about working, I think, right? Because working gives you purpose. I had a period of, let's say, 6 months where I felt so comfortable with the amount of money that I had accumulated that I thought, I don't need to work. I don't need to do stuff anymore. I can just wake up, smoke a joint, um, plan my day, meet some girls, um, go shopping, and then go to bed, right? And this was great. This was a great lifestyle for a few months, and then this shit gets boring if you don't have a goal, a purpose that you're working towards. I think shit's getting boring pretty quickly. How are you sending money here? Oh man, sending money in Colombia is a real pain in the ass. So when I rented this apartment, they wanted me to pay 8 months upfront, right, in cash. 8 months worth of rent upfront, and I really struggled to do it because every time you try to transfer anything larger than 1,000,000 pesos, which is like $250, you have to go through so many hoops in terms of money laundering and all that stuff. So I made an agreement with my landlord that I'm paying by credit card just every month. She has a business, so I just swipe my card through her business like terminal to pay my rent. I haven't found a reliable way to get money into the country, anything larger than a million bucks, like pesos. It's crazy. Oh, my dog has plenty of toys. Like I've so many toys for him. I don't know why he's chewing cables. You see, there's a bone right next to the cable there that he could chew on. He prefers to take a risk. I think he literally listened to this conversation and he thought, I'm gonna chew this cable now because I gotta take more risk. That's not the sort of risk that I was referring though. But guys, I was hoping that in the chat I would have more people telling me I'm gonna take this risk and this risk and this risk. I want to hear some inspiring stories right now. Come on, guys. What is the risk that you're taking this year? What are you currently doing for work, and is it paying enough? Seems like it is to me. Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. I'm planning a video where I break down my earnings. And my earnings for December have been fantastic, I gotta say. I made like, I think I made like 10K US in December. It's not a typical month, but in this video, and it's coming soon, I'm already writing the script. I'm gonna break down exactly how I made 10K without having a typical job. And I already mentioned trading is certainly a part of that, but I'm doing other stuff as well. Yeah, so Western Union I don't think is even the best choice because the fees are high, and I just had so many bad experiences with Western Union where they froze the money for like weeks and requested additional stuff, and then it took ages for me to get the money. So I don't recommend doing that. But I mean, if I were to buy a car, for example, I'd say a car for $10,000 or $15,000, I had no idea. I wouldn't know how to pay for that shit. You know. I guess I could open a Colombian bank account because you don't even need to be a Colombian citizen to do that. And then I could, because it's in the same name, I think it would be easier to transfer money if both accounts, the sending and the receiving one, are in the same name, I think. 10K a month is like 100K. Yeah, definitely 10K is, in this part of the world, incredibly just incredible. But I don't expect to make 10K every single month this year, right? I think December was kind of special. I had some luck with trading. I got a good deal in terms of other work that I do. But usually I aim to make at least 5K a month so that I can cover everything that I, all the daily spendings that I have, like food deliveries and all that stuff. And I have enough money to invest in stocks and that stuff. I'm investing in crypto, XRP. Yeah, crypto, I'm very, very bullish on cryptocurrency, and I believe everybody should put at least 5% of their worth in crypto. I think that this is the minimum risk that everybody should take, right? Because the upside is so big, because if the theory is right about crypto in general, then this is just the beginning, guys, right? 20,000 bucks for a Bitcoin seems high, but if you think 10 or 20 years into the future, it's just the beginning. And if the theory is not correct, and if crypto doesn't work out to be, the next big thing, then you only lost 5% of your net worth, right? But in terms of crypto, I have Bitcoin. I don't have any altcoin except for Nexo. And I urge you to look into Nexo, because Nexo is a cryptocurrency that has an actual business behind it. There's an actual company behind it. And this company is basically lending out money based on how much crypto you have, right? So let's say you have $1,000 in Bitcoin, because you think that Bitcoin in the future will have a greater value. So now you have $1,000 parked in Bitcoin. The problem is you can't use that $1,000. What Nexo enables you to do is you park the $1,000 in Bitcoin. At the same time, you can spend that money basically like a loan. You take out a loan. The crypto is the security for that loan. And then because you pay 5.9% interest per year, but because you expect Bitcoin to raise more than 5.9% per year, you're basically making a profit as well. So it's really very interesting concept behind Nexo, and it's a profitable company. They're making millions and millions in profit, and they're distributing 30% of their profit amongst all the token holders, the people who own the Nexo token. They will be basically rewarded for holding that token. So is trading easy for you? So I'm not a day trader. And I don't think that most people should be day trading, because day trading is really, most people will lose money, and 99% of people will lose money day trading. There are a few people that have a great talent to make money day trading. Most people don't. So what I usually recommend people to do is invest rather than day trade. So what the difference is, obviously, is that you are putting your money based on fundamentals, right? Because you think, oh, this company, they're going to have a great success in the coming 1 year or 5 years or whatever your time horizon is for investment. So you put your money where you think business will go in the future, where profits will flow in the future. And day trading is just, you look at graphs and charts and lines and numbers, and you try to figure out a trend. and you gotta be quicker to figure out that trend than the rest of the market. And most people fail to do that. But investing, on the other hand, I think is much easier. So I pick businesses and companies, and I invest my money, and I hope that it works out. And most of the time it does. Colombian women are definitely not easy unless you want to be a sugar daddy. That is true. So Colombian women, they are, and here's the thing, right? Colombia is a society where everything is about status, right? So everything is about status, and if a woman decides to be with a foreign man, she will lose her status in society. Other Colombian women, or Colombian people in general, will look down on her because they think she's only with that gringo because she's, going after his money. So that means that most normal Colombian women will avoid to lose their status, and they will avoid gringos and foreigners. And the women who don't, the women who will take that risk to lose their status, these are the women that are usually just gold diggers, right? So you will always find yourself in a situation where the only women that are really going after you are gold diggers, and the actual women that you have an interest in, they will just feel like, I can't do this because people will look at me and say, wow, she's a bitch. Why don't you start up a business in Colombia for another source of income? So I only have 24 hours a day, right? And I have to allocate my time in a way to maximize the outcome, to maximize my income. So when I'm making 10K a month, like I did in December, then I have to ask myself the question, do I want to take away time from those projects that are making me 10K a month? Do I want to take time away from that? And what is the potential gain that I get from that time that I'm now spending less on those profitable projects, if that makes sense? So until I see my revenue, my profit decrease from the projects that I'm currently working on, until that happens, I don't feel the need to start a business. But the second problem is starting a business in Colombia is incredibly difficult because it's a highly bureaucratic country. There's so many rules and laws and paperwork, and I'm German. This is a German guy saying that, guys. So I come from a country that literally has laws and rules in their DNA, right? And before I came here, I didn't believe that there was a country with more rules than Germany. I mean, it's the one prejudice that the whole world has against Germans, right? That we like to obey by the rules, and we do. But Colombia, I think, because the country has such a chaotic past with the drug wars and the chaos and the murders and the blood in the streets, that the only way out of this mess was building a country that is extremely bureaucratic. And I'm not saying that there's no corruption here, which is not the case. It's probably the most corrupt country in the world, and money will help you work around those bureaucratic hurdles. if you have money in Colombia, everything is possible. Everything is possible. But I'm not that guy who wants to get into corruption to make the things work that I'm trying to do. I don't know how dangerous this is. I mean, I bribed a police officer once in Colombia because they were asking for money to let us pass. So we just paid them. And I already felt quite terrible doing that. What range do you usually make every month, and does it make sense? What do you mean by does it make sense? But the range I usually make is between 5 and 10, I would say. How are you learning Spanish? Any recommendations? So I decided against going to a school or take classes because I'm not the guy that likes to sit in a classroom and, listen to a teacher and do group work and fill out forms to test my skills and all that stuff. I mean, I dropped out of university after a year or year and a half. Dropped out to start my own business back in, 2013, I think, 14. And so I'm not a person to go to a school and learn. I'm a person that likes to learn by doing. And I wouldn't say my Spanish is amazing, but I would certainly say that I can hold a conversation in Spanish after a year being in this country without completely embarrassing myself. And I understand even more Spanish than I am able to speak, right? So if two Colombians speak and they speak very quickly, I would say I understand at least 70, 80%. And all of that I just picked up by listening to people and watching Netflix on Spanish, really. That's probably the one thing I would recommend. Just go on Netflix, switch to Spanish, turn on English subtitles, and just try to understand without reading the subtitles, really. How do you feel about safety in Cali? Do you think it's true that it's really so dangerous? So, before I came to Cali, you read so much stuff on the internet, right? Most dangerous city in Colombia, tourist getting shot in the head because he had an iPad in his hand. Tourist got shot in the head. Tourist got shot in the head because he had a Rolex watch. So I think that just looking at the hard facts, yes, Cali is dangerous. 1,000 people getting shot every single year in this city still today. But all of that really just concentrates in a very, very small area. And as long as you stay away from that area, I think Cali is relatively safe. It really depends on where you are, I believe. I mean, what is your experience? You're living here too, so I gotta say that I haven't seen a single situation in the whole city, and I've been driving through the city 1,000 times, in the south, in the north, in the center. Never seen a single situation where I felt like, wow, this is dangerous. Only once I was sitting in an Uber, and there was a fight going on between a woman riding a motorcycle and a taxi, I think. I think that the taxi sort of hit her motorcycle. So this woman, she got off her motorbike, opened the taxi's door, pulled out the guy, like GTA style. Seriously, pulled out the guy and hit him in the face. Boom. And yeah, this was the only violent situation that I ever encountered in Cali. Yeah. I mean, just don't pull out your phone if it's not really necessary. Um, Always be very, is that a word? Very? Be very about your surroundings. Um, like when I walk my dog, I always know what's going on around me. Like, if there are two guys on a motorbike, which is illegal, by the way, in Cali, it's illegal for two guys to sit on a motorbike because this is the typical hit and run, or steal and run thing that they do. If I see two guys on a motorbike, I spot them from 1,000 meters away, and I know exactly what they're doing, and I'm prepared. So yeah, guys, haven't read any risks from you guys. What risk are you taking this year? Let me know. I'm curious. I want to see some inspiring stories right now. I really want to check out Brazil, guys. I really want to check out Brazil because I think it's a whole different animal than Colombia. I think it's a whole different culture. It's a different language as well. So there's no real interactions between Colombia and Brazil. The food should be much better. The one thing I really don't like about Colombia is the food, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. You can have great food in Colombia, but you got to pay up for it. If you just walk around the street and you get some street food, usually you get stuff that is not very flavorful or of great quality. It's not like in Asia or like in Thailand, In Thailand, street food is just amazing. You spend $1 or you spend $2 on food in Thailand, you have the time of your life. In Colombia, it's not like that. So I think that Brazilian food is much better, and I'm just curious to see it. Probably not a long time. Go to Brazil for a week or two, figure out what is Sao Paulo all about, what is Rio de Janeiro all about, what are Brazilian women like in comparison to Colombian women. So I want to do that this year. Why did you pick Cali to live? You ever consider coffee access area? Yeah, I went to the coffee access area. I think, what is it called? Pereira, right? Pereira is that a city in that area? I think so. Why did I pick Cali? So I've been to Bogota, I've been to Medellin, I've been to Cartagena. I would say I've been to all the major cities in Colombia, and I picked Cali because it was the city that felt the realest, if that makes sense. In Medellin, it's like a machine. It's like industry. It's like a big machine that takes in tourists, takes all their money, fills them up with coke, and spits them out. Right? Being in Medellin, although I do enjoy being there for a few days and then go back, I think it feels like everything is tailored to extract money from tourists and then send them back home, right? And all the women that are there are part of that machine. And it all felt fake and not real, and I just didn't connect with the city. And then I came to Cali, and I completely got a different vibe from people. And of course, in Cali, there are women that will take all your money and spit you out as well. I just felt that the chances of having a good time here are higher in comparison to Medellin, really. What turn-offs have you experienced dating a Latina? While I think about that, let me answer the question about the best restaurant in Cali. Yeah, the best restaurant. I think Platos. What is the name? Let me quickly check the name for you. Man, I can't find it. Let me go on Google Maps. Maps. Yeah, here it is. Platillos voladores. Platillos voladores. I don't know if I can show this to the camera, but here it is. Great restaurant. Pretty pricey though, but they have good stuff. High quality, great flavors. I do recommend. Turn-offs. Dating a Latina. Yeah, I think Latinas are incredibly jealous, right? At least the ones that I've been with. So, for example, you're out on a street, and there's another woman coming up with a big ass, and you only need to think about that ass of that other woman, and you already have a big problem with the girl you're with. And at the same time, they like to take all the freedom they want, right? So in my world, it's okay to be somewhat jealous, right? I wouldn't want my girl to stare at another guy. But if I express that jealousy, then I will sort of apply that to myself as well, right? Like equal rights. That's what I'm about, and they don't tend to live by that standard, I feel. So that really turned me off. Like, okay, I can't look at this woman's ass, but you're there on Instagram replying to 20 different messages. Okay, they're just your friend, but if you're talking to all these guys, then I'm gonna look at this woman's butt on the street. Equal rights. That doesn't seem to work very well in Colombia. Have you been dating anyone since the last one? Yeah, I'm dating someone right now. Maybe she would appear in the next video. We'll see. Colombian girls are super needed. You better answer to her text. True. You gotta answer to the text at all times. And also, they're always late, right? So you even when you're dating the girl, right? You've been dating her for 6 months. You agree on a time and a date, and until she really stands in front of you, you don't know whether or not that date will happen or not. What is the word for that? If people don't really stick to dates and that, I don't know. It's just weird sometimes. Like, didn't we have a date? Oh yeah, but you didn't confirm it for another 10 times in a row, so I thought it's not gonna happen. To me, when I set a date, it's gonna happen. And it's not. Oh, you scared me. I thought my dog is doing something again. No, I pulled out the cable so he can chew on that cable anytime he wants. Where is he? Where is he? Magnus? Ah, there he is. There he is. He was sleeping. Come here. Come here. Come here. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, and if Latinas are late, they're not late 10 minutes. They're not late 30 minutes. They're late 2 hours. They're late 2 hours every time. And to me, as a German, this is the ultimate lack of respect, to be honest. And I agree that I came here to a different culture and I have to adopt somewhat. And, you know, for a German, it's incredibly rude just to be late 5 minutes. If you're 5 minutes late to any meeting, you feel very embarrassed in Germany, right? And you excuse 1,000 times, and you already call prior to being late. Oh, I'm gonna be late 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. Here, you're late 2 hours, and you're not even. You know, people don't even realize. It's just a completely different approach to time. It's crazy. What's your ideal date, first date for out here, and how are you meeting these girls? Ah, yeah. What's your first ideal date, and how are you meeting girls? So, in Europe, I wasn't a big fan of dating apps because the usual way to meet new people in Europe is just you go out and people just talk to each other, like random people, like especially in the UK, and the UK even more so than in Germany. Here it's different. When people go out, they go out in groups of friends, which is normal, but then they stay within those groups, and anyone coming from the outside is usually not integrated into that group right away, especially if you're a foreigner, right? You feel sort of strange and left out. So I figured that meeting girls, going out in Colombia is not the most efficient way. It's hard work. You need a lot of luck, and so I started using dating apps, and I have a video about Tinder in Colombia, and it worked out well. It worked out well, especially Facebook. As Facebook has a dating function here in Colombia. I didn't know that. Maybe it's new, or maybe it doesn't exist in other places, but Facebook dating really works well here because everybody has Facebook. In Europe, not so much. Yeah, you get to meet a lot of people via apps. So I do recommend using apps. Okay, guys, I streamed almost an hour. I gotta do some work. I gotta make some money. As mentioned, there are new videos coming about money. There are new videos coming about Colombia, and I hope you guys are taking more risk this year. Please do so. It will only enhance your life. Trust me. All right? Happy New Year. Talk to you soon, and take